The Forest Service has made a decision to maintain, first of all, the closure that we have for the fire right now. That is the closure that includes the burn perimeter from 89A, west of 89A, from Slide Rock State Park north to the switchbacks on 89A. We'll be maintaining that. But in addition, with anticipating the monsoon season coming and all of the problems that come with that precipitation, those debris flows and that flooding, we also will be doing a second closure. That'll be a closure of all National Forest System lands from the city of Sedona boundary, so that's basically Midgley Bridge, north all the way to those switchbacks. That'll be both sides of 89A, essentially the canyon, essentially up to the Mogollon Rim. And that will include all of our developed rec sites as well as general forest lands. It won't include private land, of course, and private businesses may choose to remain open, but any recreation, any access to the National Forest will be prohibited. So for the average visitor, that means that although you may drive through the canyon right now and see that things look pretty green in those riparian areas and in some of those areas south of where the fire actually was, those places like Encinoso Picnic Area, Grasshopper Swimming Area, Midgley Bridge, Manzanita Campground, those are areas that we've had open. When we do see that the monsoon is coming, we're going to close those areas. So those areas will actually be, the gates will be closed. We also will be trying to manage parking in those pullouts on 89A where people frequently park and then drop down into the creek. So all of that will be closed off, and any access to the creek there will be prohibited. And that's really about not just managing recreation in our developed rec sites, but from years of managing recreation in the canyon, we know that people go into those sites and they don't just stay in the developed rec sites, they disperse down the creek, especially where there's a lot of people recreating. They disperse down that creek, and it just is an incredible burden for our emergency responders to try to reach people when we're talking about floods where you have minutes to evacuate. Predicting when the monsoon starts is a tricky business. Right now, the National Weather Service tells us that for the next couple of weeks, they really don't see a storm coming. So with that in mind and recognizing that these areas and recreation in these areas are really important to people, number one. Number two, are very important to the local economy. We are going to do our best to keep those areas open through the 4th of July weekend if that is safe for people to be in there. Regardless, if we get through the 4th of July weekend and we haven't seen the monsoon developing, we still will close those sites on July 7th. And the reason for that is, for this to be successful, you've heard the National Weather Service, you've heard our other partners say, this is a situation where we'll have minutes when water's actually coming downstream. In order to avoid having people in that, we have to close those sites while it's still sunny. But keep in mind that the Red Rock Ranger District is 575,000 acres. This is a really small percentage of that is going to be closed. We haven't done the math on it yet, but it's probably around 30,000 acres, something like that. That leaves a lot of just the Red Rock Ranger District for people to recreate on. So this is just Oak Creek Canyon. All of the area around Sedona, all the beautiful red rocks, all of that is still going to be open. There's still opportunities for people to recreate near the water at Beaver Creek Day Use Area, at Dead Horse State Park, at Red Rock Crossing, at the Bullpen Dispersed Recreation Area. Those are just the riparian recreation areas. In addition, we have trails, we have picnic areas, we have all kinds of recreation opportunities still available to people nearby. And